This is interesting. I'm wondering if we can use a different output here. Enes, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you perfectly.
Wonderful, thank you very much. So we are about to start, and I think we're starting with the group you're co-supervising, so that should be fine. You don't have to stick around for the other presentations, just next 10 minutes or something. I don't know if Rabson is going to be joining us as well, but yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to call Rabson, but he didn't pick up the phone. I don't know in what situation he is.
That's fine, it's okay. So we're attempting to record these. Thank you. We're going to record these, and then maybe you can probably look at this later on or something.
Yeah.
All right, in the interest of time, we know you're busy people, we are preparing for the exams and all that, so we can start. Simple process here. We are doing this as a sort of rehearsal presentation, so we are mimicking what's going to happen next week on Monday. I always try to take notes, but I'll try as well to take notes today as well, and then we'll share these notes. But most of the feedback you're going to get is going to be like the comments after the presentations. These are going to be done in order of the group numbers or something, and I think we are starting with Austin, Peter, Patrick, and Ms. Chabo. So you can come through the usual stuff. We are doing this in 10 minutes. I don't know if I should stop you after 10 minutes, but we will not stop you after 10 minutes. We shall let you do your thing here, but in case you go over time, we will make a comment afterwards. I hope this is visible. I don't know if you have to back or something. Is this good enough? This is the best we can do today. Is this fine? Oh, but why is it you have to back again? I don't know what's happening. Are you going to manage with the... you can move the chair elsewhere if you need to be... I mean, if you need to be closer when you're going to... What's happening? You are ready?
Yes, I am.
Okay, just... all right.
Hello everyone, welcome to ICT 4014 proposal presentation. We are presenting on the topic University Teaching Hospitals Radiology Information System, UTHs RIS for short. My name is NAMWILA. Below is the presentation outline. Project description, problem statement, related work, methodology, ethical considerations, project management, anticipated outcomes, and conclusion. Project description. The shortage of qualified radiologists in the public health sector of Zambia has resulted in challenges with interpreting medical images. This problem has been exacerbated by the increasing use of medical imaging modalities and subsequent growth of imaging data. So to curb this problem, the enterprise medical imaging, EMI, technique, particularly a radiology information system, will be utilized. Problem statement. Shortage of qualified radiologists in the public health sector of Zambia has led to increased workload and inefficient workflows, leading to delay in reporting and interpreting of image modalities. The broad objective, therefore, will be to investigate the feasibility and designing of and implementing an interoperable RIS platform for efficient and effective management of radiological tasks. Our specific objectives are to understand the workflows and challenges of radiology disciplines, to design and implement an interoperable RIS platform, to evaluate the usefulness of a RIS platform in automating radiological workflows. The research questions are: what are the primary workflows and challenges of radiology department? What is the feasibility of designing and implementing an interoperable RIS platform? And lastly, how useful is the RIS platform in automating radiological workflows? Thank you so much. I end here.
Presenting under related works, my name is Austin MONDE. As we engage in our research, it is vital to understand, that there is existing literature that talks about our topic of discussion. Crucial to this is enterprise medical imaging. It is a basis that serves as a stage for the implementation and integration of the RIS platform. It combines techniques, processes, and procedures to facilitate the efficient management of clinical medical imaging content within healthcare settings. It holds the potential to improve clinical care and operational efficiency. Next is Libre Health RIS. Here we acknowledge a RIS platform which was developed by 2 students from the University of Kauka as part of a student project. It was released in 2011 and was made available for public use in 2013. However, it has got some of its weaknesses, which are limited scalability and extensibility. Similar to the Libre Health RIS, we have got the OpenMRS, which is a module, or rather an extension of the OpenRS platform that provides a set of features and tools specifically designed to support the management of radiology and imaging services. It is built to support low-resource healthcare settings, and it has got weaknesses in terms of complexity to set up and configure, which requires technical expertise and resources. Thank you very much. My presentation ends here.
Presenting on methodology, my name is Patrick MWILA. Our proposed solution is to design and implement an interoperable RIS platform that is customized to meet the specific needs of the university teaching hospitals. The implementation will be based on a free and open source software, making it cost-effective and accessible to the public health facilities in Zambia. And it should be noted that this will be part of a much larger project that will be later integrated with the PACS platform as well as the future UTH information systems. As part of understanding the context of the UTH RIS platform, we came up with a context diagram. Here we have different external entities that are going to be interacting with the software itself when it is deployed. We've got the PACS client, we've got radiologists, we've also got referring physicians that are going to be accessing different features of the platform itself. To understand and analyze the acceptance and usability of the UTH RIS platform that is going to be developed, the technology acceptance model theory will serve as a guiding framework for our study. This postulates that users' acceptance of a technology is primarily influenced by 2 factors, that is perceived usefulness and the perceived ease of use. And this will guide us in terms of evaluating the usefulness of the platform once it is deployed. Our research approach and design, we are going to adopt a mixed method approach. This will enable us to gather both subjective and objective data, providing a comprehensive understanding of the radiology workflows at the UTH. The potential impact of implementing the RIS platform itself. This approach, of course, will enable us to triangulate data from multiple sources and methods, enhancing the validity and reliability of our findings. To begin with, we shall first of all try to understand the challenges at the UTH by conducting a base study. The setting will be here in Lusaka at the UTH University Hospitals. The data collection technique, of course, will involve different elicitation methods such as observations, interviews, and as well as paper trails, to mention a few. The target population will be physicians, radiologists, radiographers, data entry clerks, cashiers, as well as the NEMA officers. The sampling technique will be convenience sampling, and the sample size will depend on the target population that will, of course, gather. After understanding the stages, we'll then engage in design and implementation of the UTH RIS platform. And as I mentioned prior to this slide, we are going to leverage free and open source softwares, and this will be part of integration and configuration. We'll first of all begin by specifying the requirements themselves, and then we'll undertake software discovery as well as software evaluation. So we discover the software, and then we're going to evaluate it. Because it's a component, or rather a software that we're going to be modifying, we're going to refine requirements to meet the specific software that is going to meet the needs of the UTH hospital. If the system is going to be available, of course, we're going to configure the system. If at all the components will be available, we'll adapt the components or develop new components at the end of it, or we'll integrate the system itself. After which the system is deployed, we're going to evaluate the usefulness of it. After deploying the first prototype, we're going to define predefined tasks such as uploading a report or interpreting medical images, and then the participants that are going to be selected from the target population are going to complete these tasks. Participant will then fill out a term questionnaire which evaluates the usefulness of the platform itself, after which we're going to analyze the responses using different analysis techniques. Thank you very much. My presentation ends here.
Following up from where my colleague ended, presenting on ethical considerations. Ethical considerations are a set of principles that guide the research design and practices. These include data privacy, protection of participants, informed consent, and responsibility to the community. Data privacy in research refers to the protection and responsible handling of personal and sensitive information collected from research participants. Protection of participants in research refers to ethical and legal obligations researchers have to ensure the well-being, rights, and safety of individuals who participate in these studies. Informed consent is a process that involves obtaining voluntary and informed agreement from individuals who are willing to participate in the research. Responsibility to the community refers to the ethical obligation of researchers to conduct their studies in a manner that serves the interests and the needs of the community in which the research takes place. Thank you so much. I end here.
Presenting under project management, my name is TEMBO. Project management is crucial in any small or large-scale project to prevent failure and ensure quality production of deliverables. In order to successfully implement this project, we came up with various project management artifacts. These artifacts will help us work on the project effectively, and it will ensure smooth work as we work together. The work breakdown structure here highlights the various activities that will take place with their respective durations and deliverables. Starting with requirements engineering, we plan to begin on the 5th of June 2023 down through to the 24th of July 2023. This will be followed by design, which will start on the 25th of July 2023 through to the 14th of August 2023. Implementation will then follow and is scheduled to begin on the 16th of August 2023 through to the 23rd of October 2023. Last but not least, software validation will begin on the 24th of October 2023 through to November the 15th, 2023. The information I've just given is further graphically depicted in this Gantt chart. Additionally, roles and their respective tasks will be assigned to members of our team using the RACI matrix. To establish and identify the critical paths associated with our project, we developed an activity network diagram. Finally, due to the inherent nature of software development and its problems that come along, we prepared a risk management plan which outlines the anticipated risks and their respective solutions that may come about. Thank you very much.
So, taking it up from where my colleague ended, presenting under anticipated outcomes. Upon deployment of the UTHs risk platform, the following are some of the anticipated outcomes: enhanced communication, improved accuracy and quality, cost savings, efficient data analysis and reporting, as well as improved patient care. So in conclusion, the shortage of qualified radiologists in the public health sector of Zambia poses significant challenges to the interpretation of medical images. However, the implementation of an interoperable risk platform can potentially address these challenges. Thank you very much. Our presentation ends here.
Thank you very much. What I'm going to do is, I don't know if I know the thing here. I don't know, Ernest, I don't know if you have any thoughts or comments about this. I know you're busy, so we're going to give you an opportunity to maybe comment. Now, one of the things here is you're supposed to state who your supervisors are. Ernest, yes, please.
Yes, thanks very much. Let me begin by saying that was good, and I wasn't really timing the presentation right on, so I'm not so sure how they fared in terms of time.
Yeah, so the only by about a minute.
Yeah, but a few comments. I'll start with I want to believe CHALWE open presentation. Generally speaking, I was wondering whether there could be a way of rephrasing the title for the presentation. It sounds very, very generic. I think maybe we might have to consider a way of trying to rephrase the topic so that it sounds a bit, more appealing, if I would borrow that word. Yeah, that's one thing to think about. Then the second thing, under CHALWE's presentation, you mentioned two challenges at the opening of the presentation. And what is really important is to make things clear that this project that you are presenting, this proposal, is not meant to solve all the challenges. You have to be very careful there to explicitly state that this proposal is intended to solve some of the challenges. You talked about the issue of shortage of radiologists. Certainly, this is not going to solve that problem. So you want to come out clear that this proposal is about, trying to solve some of the challenges related to the workflows, so that you can, free up some of the time that stakeholders are spending in doing manual processes in the workflows, and so that time can be redistributed to doing other important tasks in the management of patients. For Austin, I had a challenge with your audio, and I think we're a bit further away from the microphone, so I didn't really get most of what you presented. But I think the rest of the members, I don't have much to critique about. I think it was a good presentation, generally. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much. Really appreciate the feedback. We see some senior students online. I don't know, I know Ms. Chama just joined, but Ms. Menda, I don't know if you have any thoughts or comments about that. So one of the reasons why we tend to invite the postgraduate students is so that they can help with feedback, right? Because you've done this before in the past. I don't know if you have any thoughts or comments. Ms. Annette, I wonder if she's left for lunch or something, or just decided to remain online. You're muted in case you're still with us. Ms. Chama, do you have any thoughts about this?
That's fine. I was trying to unmute myself.
Of course.
I don't think I have any comments. I joined the presentation when it already started.
Okay.
So I was trying to follow through and just to agree with what Dr. Ernest mentioned earlier. I concur with the suggestions that he proposed. And just to mention that the other speakers' volume was not all audible. I think I'll leave it here and comment on the next ones as I try to follow through the conversations. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. We can invite questions from the general public. I mean, if you have thoughts about how your colleagues can perhaps improve, right? Now would be the time, I suppose. Oh, you guys want me to? Do you have any questions? You guys are doing a course that's highly relevant to the last part of the project management. I think you comment on that, no? Should be asking, why aren't you using the Russian inspired process or something? That sounds smart, right? But we must come during the oral exams and ask us more questions. But I have a few thoughts here. You really want to work out the time, right? So I was timing 10 minutes, 59 seconds, 42 milliseconds. So what happens during the oral exams is the moment we hit the 10-minute mark, you are stopped. And that's bad, right? Because you won't get the opportunity to talk about the other important things. So you really want to work on that. I mean, I thought the other thing that is worth mentioning here is relative to the part that a lot of people would be concerned about here is marks, right? It's always nice at the very beginning you state who your supervisors are, for instance, right? Specific set of supervisors are. Not necessary for you to have the stuff that is on the top there. That's an efficient way of using space here. And then visualizations. People have, if we were to ask people in here what they understand regarding the problem that you're exploring, very few understand what it is you're doing. Right? So a nice visualization might be worth putting in the introduction. Instead of text, maybe you put a workflow depicting what typically happens, right? And how the solution fits into the bigger picture. I'm sure Dr. Leo and Dr. Zulu would be more than happy to provide you with pointers on what sort of visualizations you can include here. Trivial things, consider them trivial here, but when we are marking, if you pay particular attention to the grading rubric, you look at things like formatting and visualizations. This is L01 here, right? In the footer. I don't know what that is here, but it's something to think about. Right? Trivial things here, inconsistencies with the bullets, right? Blue, black. What is that about? You understand this? At some point, I think I was thinking about some things here, but on visualization, as I said, you guys, you're not as old as we are. You can make your presentations much more appealing. Right? It's too blunt. You understand?
Yeah.
You can do better than this. If you want to draw people's attention to what you're talking about. At some point in your methodology, it's not base study, it's baseline study. Right? You want to showcase to people that you know what you're talking about. Right? You don't mention in the methodology, in the last objective, you don't mention exactly who exactly is going to participate in this. I don't know if you did, but I took note of the fact that you did not mention. I think you just cruised through here. You did a good job of saying who's going to participate in objective number 1, Mr. MWILA, but I think you forgot to do that in here. You want to be really smart about where you are spending a lot of your time, right? What is the most important aspect of this, right? Should you perhaps consider spending less time in the related work and focus on the more important aspect of the work, maybe not, right? You understand this? What else here? I thought it was unfortunate that you don't mention. So the thing is, when you're doing a presentation, you want to preempt the questions that people are going to ask. I'll tell you one thing. They'll ask you, did you get permission, right? Why don't you say, we have permission from the Ministry of Health, or permission from University Teaching Hospitals, right? The superintendent or wherever they are. We have permission from UNZA-BREC. We have permission from NHI, right? We want to explicitly mention all these things here. I don't know what the activity diagram is all about here. I see some, so that's the end there. I'm wondering why theme here. Can you guys, at the back, can you see what the total duration will be here? Can you see? I don't know, right? I always wonder if really it's, I know perhaps the reason why you're including this, the text, we can't see what the duration is. We can't see the red text.
Okay.
Yeah? I'm wondering if maybe this is one of the things that you can just exclude from here, right? If you want to cut down on time, it's not that relevant. I don't think people will be interested in what the critical path is here. If you want to tell people to say the duration, you derived the duration, you can do that right here. So we anticipate to finish this within X number of days, or X number of weeks. But other than that, I think that's just about it. You just want to work on your time. Yes. Thank you very much. All right. Ernest, thank you so much. We know you're a busy person here trying to save lives, so you can, you can leave if you wish to. The things we're going to be talking about next are probably boring to you or something, but that's okay.
I chose to stick around. I think.
Yeah.
I'll stick around.
All right. Thank you. All right. So next up is Mr. SINYANGWE, Ms. NACHIBINGA, Martin, and Emmanuel. They're going to give a talk titled, is it Automatic Summarization of Zambian Legislative Documents or something? Sorry, I've run out of battery power. Please, you There's a concern that you're not audible enough. I wonder if we can move the microphone closer to where you're going to stand. You can use this to go forward and back or something. Okay, so you ready?
Yes.
It doesn't matter whether you're ready or not. You don't have to do this. Basically, decide to just leave and say, no one will be that much. So we're not ready here. Well, that's fine. We can start.
Good afternoon, everyone. So we're project team number 6, and our topic is automatic summarization of Zambian legislative documents. So the presentation will be tackled as followed. So first of all, look at the motivation, project description, problem statement, related work, proposed solution, procedures and method, ethical consideration, and then we'll wrap up with the project management. All right, so our motivation, it's all about enhancing public perception of the National Assembly of Zambia. So the National Assembly of Zambia is mandated by law to execute legislative oversight, representative and budgetary functions for enhancing democratic governance. So this mandate is crucial for the functioning of the Zambian democratic system. In the 2022 and 2026 strategic plan of National Assembly, it emphasizes the importance of enhancing public perception of the institution, and also it highlights the needs to strengthen ICT platform for public engagement. So the National Assembly of Zambia recognizes the role of technology in engaging with the public. So utilizing ICTs, the National Assembly aims to provide opportunities for the public to actively participate and contribute to the parliament activities. So the parliament and also organizations like the Zambia Legal Information Institute makes these legislations publicly available to the public. Despite the availability of these documents, there are challenges in interpreting them due to the size of these documents and also the technicality of the language used in these documents. So, for example, Marcel and Tar, these scholars highlighted two factors that contribute to the barriers in providing open and accessible legal information, which has to do with ease of access and also the capacity to interpret this information. Thank you.
Afternoon, everyone. My name is Phiri, and I'm the second presenter. So I'll take it up from where my colleague ended, which is on the project description. So the interpretation of the legislation available through entities such as the Zambian Legal Information Institute is problematic due to the size of the documents and the vocabulary used. Ease of access and the natural language processing techniques offer a potential solution to the problem of interpreting legal documents by automatically summarizing legislative documents. So under problem statement, legal documents are an integral part of any legal system. These documents can often be quite complex and technical, making it very difficult for average people to understand. However, these documents can be quite lengthy, which can make it challenging for lay people to read and understand the legal information within them. As a result, people may not be aware of their legal rights and obligations, which can lead to legal disputes and confusion. So in Zambia, through the acts of parliament, legislative documents are complex and lengthy, making them challenging for ordinary citizens to understand. And on my right is a snapshot of the acts of parliament website containing all these legal documents, which we'll be working with. So as we all know, the country's legal system is based on the English common law and is made up of various sources of law, including the constitution, judicial decisions, and customary laws. So however, these laws are written in technical legal language and are often amended, making it difficult for an average person to keep up with the changes. And on the right is the snapshot of one of the legal documents. Yeah. So moving on, our objectives are the broad objective of this project is to develop an advanced automatic summarization system that leverages the capabilities of machine learning and natural language processing to significantly enhance the accessibility and the comprehension of Zambian legislative documents for the general public. The specific objectives are to identify the challenges that people have in understanding legal documents. Second is to design and implement the natural language processing model for summarizing these legal documents. And lastly, to evaluate the effectiveness of the natural processing module. I think the next colleague will take it up from here.
Presenting the related works, NACHIBINGA. So, reviewing related works allows us to leverage the knowledge and insights of previous researchers. It helps us to understand the advancements made in this field of automatic summarization and legal documents, and also avoiding reinvention of the wheel. By studying related work, we can identify existing methodologies, technologies, and algorithms that have proven effective in automatic summarization tasks. The focus of this section will be on 3 thematic areas: challenges, understanding legalistic documents, evaluation of document summarization, and then we're going to look at the 2 classic approaches to document summarization, which are the abstractive and extractive. So challenges, understanding legalistic documents. We looked at this article by Mason and Tahir 2016 reported the challenges that civil societies organizations, CSOs, in Zambia face in regards to understanding legalistic documents, and challenges which my colleagues earlier mentioned, Mr. Phiri and SINYANGWE, like the documents being lengthy, the legalistic terminologies that may be used in there might not be easily understood by laymen or Zambian citizens. Evaluation of document summarization. Why conduct an evaluation of a summarizing model? To measure the performance and effectiveness. Evaluation allows you to assess the performance and effectiveness of a system, process, program, or intervention. Recall-oriented understudy for GISTIN evaluation, which is ROGUE, is an evaluation metric used to measure the similarity between generated summaries and reference summaries. The bilingual evaluation understudy and the metric for evaluation of translation with explicit ordering measures the quality of the generated summary by comparing it to the reference summary. Precision and recall. Precision measures the ratio of relevant information in the generated summary, while recall measures the ratio of relevant information captured from the source text. The 2 classic approaches are extractive and abstractive summarization. So, simply put, extractive techniques solely rely on extracting essential sentences or paraphrases from a document or a set of documents. Then abstractive techniques focus on writing or paraphrasing the content in a more precise manner.
Thank you very much. To continue from where my colleague left, my name is Martin KAMBUNJI, and I'll be tackling the proposed solution. So to address the problem that has been highlighted by my colleagues, we propose to build a model that will be summarizing these documents. So it's a natural language processing model which will be used. So by providing this model will be used in such a way that it will provide a concise summary of legal documents in a way that a layman is able to understand. So I move on to procedures and methods. So this project is going to utilize a cross-industry standard process for data mining, CRISP-DM model, which is basically a model that's used to guide the data mining research center project like this one. So a CRISP-DM model basically segments data mining project into 6 phases: data understanding, or business understanding, data understanding, data preparation, modeling, evaluation, and deployment. So under business and understanding, we will define the business objectives of the requirements for the automatic summarization of Zambian legal documents. And also we're going to identify the key stakeholders and their information that's needed to effectively tackle this project. Then data understanding will focus on exploring the relevant data and accessing the available parliamentary legal documents in Zambia, including their formats, sources, and any existing summarization techniques. And then since we are working with data, so the data has to be processed. So to do data preparation is a stage where we process and transform the data that will be collected from the Parliament website. And then we clean it, remove any anomalies, and then to be ready for be used. And then the next phase is modeling, where we explore various algorithms such as extractive or abstractive summarization and adapt them to the specific context of legal documents. This phase will involve experimentation with different models and fine-tuning them for optimal performance. And then evaluation. This phase entails defining evaluation metrics such as recall-oriented understanding for existing rows metric, which assesses the similarity between the generated summaries and the reference summaries. And then the deployment stage will be, it involves integrating the model into a practical system or platform that can be utilized to summarize legal documents effectively and efficiently. So we consider the technical requirements and infrastructure necessary for deployment, such as computing resources and user interfaces. And then I will leave it to my colleagues.
Right. So to continue from where my colleague has ended. So ethical considerations. Ensuring the appropriateness and integrity of the research, especially when it involves the general public. Therefore, this research will prioritize ethical procedures to ensure the following: data privacy and confidentiality, handle sensitive information appropriately, adhere to data protection regulations, anonymize personal information, and implement robust security measures to protect the privacy of individuals involved. Secondly, accuracy and integrity of information. Give utmost importance to accuracy, minimize errors, biases, and misinterpretations in the generated summaries, ensuring that the information presented is reliable and trustworthy.
SINYANGWE again. So to sum it up, this project we're going to implement natural language processing. So it's important for the public or the users to be fully aware that this is a machine that we're implementing to summarize documents. So it's supposed to be used with caution. So the project management, we're going to carefully break down the structure into appropriate tasks so that they can be easily managed, such as we're going to look at the risk management, coming up with a work breakdown structure, and also the Gantt chart and all the related artifacts. Thank you. This is the end of our presentation.
All right, thank you very much. We're going to check if there are people online, then we can start with them. I don't know if there are any comments from colleagues online or something, or thoughts about the presentation. Yeah, well, there's just there's just 4 people on, like 3 actually. You don't have to raise up your hand. Like, we were expecting a question from you, seeing as your research is more aligned with data mining. Please go ahead. Thank you.
Thank you to the team members who presented on their proposal. I just want to seek clarity on the didn't master the number of slides, but I think it has to do with the specific objectives that were outlined. In terms of identifying the challenges, I've forgotten the other part that is speaking to that particular objective. Yes, identifying the challenges that people have in understanding the legal documents. I just tried to find out how the team intends to go about this particular objective. How do they envision to make sure that they get the answers that they are seeking in identifying the challenges? I think this is one component that I didn't explicitly see coming out in their proposed methodology. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And I mean, you didn't see it because they don't mention this, which is quite unfortunate. It's not there, but you want to answer the question?
Thank you for that. So the way we're going to collect data, obviously we're dealing with a large mass of people. This project is essentially meant for the public. So it's quite difficult to collect data because there are a number of people involved. But we're going to utilize the questionnaire. So basically, our mode of collecting data will be the questionnaire. Thank you. I don't know if that makes sense.
So what will happen, by the way, is, I don't know if Ms. Annette is satisfied with the response, but what will happen when you're being examined is her question is centered around the methodological approach. If you pay particular attention to what your colleagues are doing for each objective, they were, for most of them, explicitly highlighting the methodological aspects of the objective. Right? So what she was expecting you to state is things like, what's your target population? Yes, there are a number of potential stakeholders associated with this, but what is your target population, right? Where are you going to, where is this questionnaire going to be distributed? Right? Is it going to be an online questionnaire or something? And you can avoid all of these questions by mentioning these things in your presentation. In fact, that's the key of what you're doing, right? The methodology. You're telling people this is what we are proposing to do. Right? It's unfortunate that you and the previous group were focusing more on the related work here. But I don't know, Ms. Mlenga, I don't know if you're satisfied with the response?
Given the explanation that you provided, I think they may pick up a few points just to see how best they could enhance the methodology when it comes to the specific objective that I highlighted.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you very much. I agree. And in fact, what you want to do is similar to the comments that we made in your proposal document, right? Before you submitted it. We say that for each of your, I think almost all of you have 3 objectives, with the exception of the group that is maybe around, they have 2, I think, I don't know. But for each objective, explain what you're going to do, because it turns out that the things you're doing are different. For the challenges, you're saying it's a questionnaire, right? For the objectives right here. For identifying the challenges, methodological approach is going to be different. The design and implementation of your NLP model is going to be a different approach. The evaluation is going to be different as well. So the best thing for you to do is, under procedures and methods, organize your slides such that you speak to the methodological approaches for each of these 3 objectives. You understand here? So, I don't know if there are any other thoughts or questions, either online or the colleagues attending here. Mr. Tembo, are you tired from the presentation? You don't have any question? Okay. No questions from the other group is busy preparing the slide. That's okay. I mean, I had a few thoughts here. You noticed Ms. Menga's comment, right? I've forgotten which page number. Well, she didn't forget. You don't have page numbers, right? That's formatting, right? And if you look at your slides here, I don't know what's happening here. You see how your text goes way beyond the right margin here, right? What's happening here? I don't know who I was talking to here. I was joking about how, I think it was yesterday when we had the 30-20 class. I was telling them to say, it's quite sad if you come and see the presentation, right? You see people struggling with first year work. This is EBU 1020, right? Formatting. Right? The presentation slide shouldn't be so much of an issue of fourth year. You understand this? You want to, you just don't run spell check on a Word document. You must run spell check on this thing as well, right? You have the wrong spelling for MONDE in somewhere, I can't remember where, but I took note of that. You know? In terms of, I thought when you're explaining what you're doing, you see again, similar to the previous group, right? You want to ensure that people understand what it is you're working towards from the outset, from the very beginning. Use an example, right? There's a nice thing here where you had I think it was Emmanuel who was doing this presentation at some point. You had a document, right? An act, I don't know what this thing here. No, you could use something like this and explain to say what we're working towards. The project is centered around getting this document as input, and then what we aim to derive at the end is a summary of this, so that people understand what you're doing. Maybe you could talk about that during the, I don't know, maybe the description of your proposed solution or something. But you want people to understand, and I know it's very tempting for you at this stage because you've got into a stage where you understand what you're doing far much better now. But that's not to say that the people in the audience understand what you're doing. In fact, if we were to ask right now, most of them have no idea what it is you're doing. You understand this? So dumb it down, because the people have to be asking questions. By the way, I will not be asking questions or helping you answer any sort of questions, right? The people who will be asking the questions have no idea what it is you're working towards. They'll be listening to what you're doing for the first time. You don't want them to be lost or something. Yeah, so run spell check here. I sat there and I was wondering why the proposed solution says you're going to implement an advanced. You said an advanced what? What's so advanced about what you're doing, right? You want to be careful here, right? Are you really, where's that slide? Are you really working towards an advanced thing here? I don't think so. I don't think there's anything very sophisticated about what you're doing here. Minor issues like if you look at your titles, right? The slide titles, the formatting is different, right? All over the place. Also, at the very beginning, you have motivation from the beginning all the way up to when you're talking about the problem statement. This is not motivation, right? You understand this? You want to be careful about all of those things. The inconsistencies with the casing, come on, you can do better than this. Here's the thing, it's a comment in the previous group here. Don't read the text from the computer. Right? You are all there, you're reading from the thing here. If, by the time you're doing your final presentation, you have no idea what it is you're talking about, memorize at least, right? Don't go there and you're reading. Nobody's interested in you dictating, right? You understand that? Yeah? And by the way, a nice workaround is you have more visualizations rather than text. That will force you to avoid reading. If you want to read, rather look at what is projected by the projector screen instead of here. You understand? Yeah? So avoid that. Oh, by the way, you went way beyond here. It's 14 minutes, 1 second, 2 milliseconds here. I don't know what it is you are doing, but you really want to work on that. You really want to work on time. By the time you got to when you were just beginning the thing, procedures, is it procedures and methods or whatever? That's when you hit the 10-minute mark. You don't want to do that. They will stop you. Right? And there's nothing like just because life is supervising you, then they give you additional time to do. Like you'll be stopped, and you think people hate you. But that's fine. Similar to the previous group, at the very beginning, you must mention, the supervisor is this person, so that people know. And rather than having, I don't think people are interested in project team number 6 members. The casing is inconsistent. Nobody's interested in that, right? Just mentioned, the project team comprises of these individuals. That's it. The supervisor is this person. Like no need for the project team number 6. Nobody cares about the code there. Maybe. Yeah, nobody cares about the code. I was going to say maybe the supervisors when they are marking, they know the skill. I don't have any thoughts or comments about this other than that from the other people here. You really want to work on the methodology. It would be nice, as part of the whole solution, if you could include some sort of block diagram that showcases the series of steps relative to the DM. By the way, when you're planning to shed off time, you don't have to give a lecture on the crisp DM approach. I don't think you are interested in that, or business understanding is about that. Just say, this is what we're going to use. We're using this methodology, there are a number of methodologies, same and all those things, but we're settling for this because of blah, blah, blah. That's it. Rather focus on what exactly we're going to be doing for each of the different methodologies. I don't have any other thoughts or questions about this. The people in the room here. I don't know what people thought about weight breakdown structure in portrait or landscape model. What the hell is that? What is it? Right? Risk, probability, strategy, impact, and supervision. What are you talking about? I'm interested in the portrait thing. It's almost like maybe just I have a sneaky suspicion you copied this text from the comments, because I made a comment say, in a thing, your appendices section should be in landscape, not portrait. And you just, I don't know who is copying the text here, but that's fine. Thank you very much. We must have fun with school, right? Not okay. So we are going to. You have uploaded it. You can download it, or you are still. What? Sorry, it's uploaded. Okay, thank you. Just pull it out for you. Is it this one, the copy of? Okay. Okay.
Let's find something.
You want to remove something?
No, it's all okay. It's all right.
I thought you'd have matching shoes. Somebody else. Is this pink? Black? Pink? You can't blanket. Don't like matching. Relax, right? There's nothing. I'm trying to ensure that you guys relax or something. This is not supposed to be painful. So, forward, back, or forward, back, or something. Sorry, I don't have that. Are you ready?
Yes.
All right. We can start.
Okay. We are project team 8, and our project is titled Wiki Motivate. And our research topic is creating a Facebook plugin for motivating content creation and contribution on Wikipedia. So these are the team members. And then our project description is Wikipedia, being one of the largest repositories of human knowledge, suffers from outdated content about Zambia compared to other countries that show great interest in editing and updating information about their countries. So the proposed project aims to address these issues by implementing a Facebook plugin that motivates Zambians to contribute and edit content about Zambia on Wikipedia. So it suggests that well-designed gamification incentives, such as a leaderboard and feedback mechanisms which will happen manually from the Wiki Motivate Facebook page, can enhance user motivation, engagement, and the perceived quality of contributions. Our problem statement is that Wikipedia is a widely recognized and valuable source of information. However, it encounters persistent challenges in attracting and retaining active contributors. So it is recorded that only 10 people from Zambia contribute and create content on Wikipedia, while a large number consumes the content. This basically creates an imbalance between content consumers who greatly benefit from the platform and content creators who play a crucial role in its sustainability and growth. The reluctance of users to contribute can be attributed to various factors such as lack of motivation, limited awareness of the contribution process, or uncertainty about the value of their own expertise. So this is just a visual representation of Zambia having 10 editors. So our main objective is basically to increase the number of Zambians who contribute to and create content on Wikipedia about Zambia. Our specific objectives are to quantify Wikipedia content creation and contribution about Zambia by Zambians, to determine the level of awareness and willingness to create and contribute content on Wikipedia, to determine how gamification can be used as a tool of motivation to increase Wikipedia content creation and contribution on Wikipedia, and to design and implement a software that will use a leaderboard to motivate and increase content creation and contribution on Wikipedia. Our research questions are: how can we quantify Wikipedia content creation and contribution about Zambia by Zambians? How can we determine the levels of awareness and willingness to contribute and to create and contribute content on Wikipedia? How can we determine the use of gamification as a motivation tool to increase content creation and contribution on Wikipedia? And how does the presence of a leaderboard in a software application impact user motivation and engagement in creating and contributing content on Wikipedia? My colleague is going to take it up from here. My name is CHANDA and I'll continue on related works. So the first theme of our related work is measuring impact and engagement of content contribution. Under this theme, we have 3 related works, which is measuring Wikipedia, a quantitative analysis, measuring user participation across online communication platforms. So these 3 related works used quantitative analysis to measure user participation and the number of edits being done on Wikipedia and other online platforms. The second theme of our related works is understanding factors influencing user engagement and participation on Wikipedia. This was a study that was conducted in order to find out what motivates people to create and contribute content on Wikipedia and other traditional knowledge sharing websites. Our third theme of related works is gamification strategies for enhancing user engagement and contribution on Wikipedia, which has 2 related works, which is gamification in Wikipedia, a study on incentives and user motivation, gamifying content creation in Wikipedia. So the research evaluated the effectiveness of gamification elements in increasing user engagement and participation. It provides insights to the impact of gamification on content creation and the dynamics of user contribution. Our fourth theme of our related work was designing and implementing gamified systems for motivating content creation and contribution on Wikipedia. Crowdsourcing user studies with Mechanical Turk was our related work. The study examines the effectiveness of using crowdsourcing platforms as a gamified approach to motivate user engagement and participation. So this platform used money as an incentive to motivate people to create content, but for our project we're going to use a leaderboard that is going to motivate people to create content on Wikipedia. Proposed solution. The proposed solution is the development of Wikimotivate, a Facebook plugin that seamlessly integrates with user profiles. So Wikimotivate will feature a leaderboard system to showcase contributors and the amount of contributions, providing recognition and motivation. So this will be done in the following ways. The first one is data aggregation. So develop a system that collects most contributing contributors' metadata from Wikipedia's API. The second is build a Facebook plugin that integrates with users' interface and provides a dedicated section of feedback to showcase the aggregated metadata. The second is ranking algorithm. Develop an algorithm to determine the rankings of editors based on various factors like the quantity of contributions, longevity of involvement, and community recognition. The fourth one is user engagement features. So we're going to implement interactive features within the plugin to encourage user engagement and interaction. For example, users can like, comment on, or share the profiles of featured editors, providing positive feedback and recognition. My colleague will continue on procedures and methods.
So here the procedures and methods will explain the methods that will be involved in the development of the software, the plugin, the Facebook plugin. So the research approach, the first one we are going to use a mixed method, research design that combines qualitative and quantitative methods. So in this one, we are going to use quantitative. So this approach will provide us both rich and detailed insights and statistical data to inform the development of our software. So qualitative research method will be used to gain a deep understanding of the topics that we are dealing with and the experiences of that people that have put in terms of people who contribute data on Wikipedia. So and then when it comes to quantitative method will work with looking at how many people are contributing on Wikipedia and what kind of data they are contributing on, and how long do they contribute? Do they keep on contributing? So from this, we'll be able to determine what kind of things that motivate them and things that demoralize them when it comes to contributing data on Wikipedia. So then the research design is that quantifying Wikipedia content creation and contribution about Zambia by Zambians. So the target population under this research design is for people aged from 16 to 65. And we'll get this information on the Wikipedia history page which shows the Zambian people who have been contributing data. So from there we can get the statistics to see how much people contribute, how long they stay online contributing data, and what motivates them. So this is where we'll get the statistics from. And to deal with this, a large sample size can be effective to achieve this objective. So the large sample size will be determined by checking how many Zambians are on Wikipedia and what do they do exactly there. So this will help us see it by saying, let's check the accounts that the Zambian accounts that are active, how many are they, and then determine and at least pick a few which will give us a good sample. So the Wikipedia page history of Zambians contributing to Wikipedia will be used to quantify this data, as it is the most effective procedure that will produce the accurate result. So the measurement instrument here, we are going to use questionnaires as a measurement instrument that will be used as they provide the comfort zone for the respondents. As a result, they respond at their own time, space, which encourages them to give out through a truthful response without fear. So to determine how gamification can be used as a tool of motivation to increase Wikipedia content creation and contribution, we can use, as my colleague earlier mentioned, gamification will ensure that content creation and contribution become enjoyable, rewarding, and stimulating. So in this case, this will be more like a thing where when the aggregated information from Wikipedia is brought together, it will be put into the plugin, and the plugin will create a post which will be posted on the Facebook Wikimotivate page, and then this post will contain a ranking. This ranking will determine, will show the most the most contributing users on Wikipedia. Yeah, and then the target population is 15 to 65 age, and then we'll also ensure that there is voluntary response in sampling in this sampling technique that is being used to gather information as individuals select themselves to be part of the sample. So the design and implementation to design and implement a software that will use gamification to motivate and increase content creation and contribution on Wikipedia. Isn't it like a repetition? So the target population of the users that is being used, I think I've already talked about this. So the software development methodology, the usage of pre-existing software necessities the use of the integration and configuration software development technique will be used to motivate Wikipedia and Facebook as they will be incorporated in the development of the Wikimotivate. So as this is easily understood, we'll use pre-existing software necessities to integrate the software. And the additional agile methodology is being used in order to modify the system where necessary in order to meet iterative and collaborative approach to software development that focuses on delivering working software in short, incremental cycles called sprints. And then, so this diagram here shows how users will be able to create and contribute content on Wikipedia. The Facebook platform is where the users will be able to log in from the Facebook and the leaderboard will be shown. So here the Wikimotivate there will be integrated with Wikipedia there, and then when Wikimotivate aggregates the information of contributors and how much content have been added, this will be sent to Facebook to show on a leaderboard which will show who is contributing more, and this will help in motivating the users. For those who might enjoy seeing their names on the leaderboard saying, oh, I would love to be here, maybe they'll be motivated to contribute content on Wikipedia more. And my colleague will continue for me.
Okay, so I'm Christabel CHALWE and I'm going to talk about the ethical considerations. The following are some of the ethical considerations that will safeguard the rights, welfare, and dignity of the people. Voluntary participation. Voluntary participation of respondents is important. Participants have the right to withdraw from the study at any time they wish to do so. Privacy and anonymity. The privacy and anonymity of the respondent is of paramount importance. No personal information must be exposed about the respondent that they may lead to harm. Collaboration and community norms. Collaboration and community norms promote collaboration amongst contributors and encourage them to engage with the existing Wikipedia community. Under project management, we have deliverables, the work breakdown structure, the risk management, the timeline that will that began from the 24th of March to the 27th of October, the RASI matrix, and the context diagram. And the context diagram that will show the relationship between the existing systems and the Wikipedia software. The anticipated outcomes include the increased active contributors on Wikipedia, particularly for Zambia-related content. The second one is to increase awareness and willingness for Zambians to create and contribute content about Zambia. The system should be able to publicly acknowledge and appreciate contributors who make significant contributions to Wikipedia. The following references support the data that has been outlined. Thank you.
All right. Just going to open up the floor here. I'm not sure if there are any thoughts or questions from maybe our colleagues that are online or something. Especially the senior students, right? We know you are experts at most of the things that are being. Oh, there's just a minute. Are there any questions? And there's already all people in the room here. A few people that are ready. Yes. Finally, somebody who is giving a presentation of the question. I hope you're not asking where are the page numbers.
My comment is just on the target population. You mentioned to say the target population will be going to focus on people that are ranging from 15 years to 65 years. I feel it's still open. Like you should maybe try to be specific. The target population, where exactly are you going to be looking at people from all over the country or Munza or where? So I think you should specify more. That's just my comment.
Okay, to answer that, the reason why we chose 15 to 16 is one, we're looking at people who are most active on the internet. So you find that maybe there are very few people below the age of 15 and above the age of 65 who are active, statistically when you look at it. And then you're looking at your point, you've said we should
specify. You be very careful about some of these statements, right? Who says there are very few people that do it? We have had conversations with most of these groups about hearsay. We don't assume here. My mom, my father, these are all online. So I don't know what the vast majority of people are online in national demographics. You have to be very careful.
Oh, yes, quite right. A lot of people are online, but we just chose to target that 15 to 65 mostly.
Why? There's a question implicitly.
Well, for us, I don't know how I can really explain this, but we chose 15 to 65, looking at when we checked on the page history, the Wikipedia history, the majority of the people that have accounts, the Zambian people there, were mostly showing things to do with the ages of 15 to 65, something like that. But that's not.
You're tying a rope around the neck here. Wikipedia does not show you ages of contributors.
There is a page I was researching on something.
So it says Zambian people that mostly contribute?
No, not really Zambian. Okay, well, maybe we'll waste a lot of time talking about this, but
it's important. They'll ask you that question. When are you going to respond? It's not about where I'm wasting time here. It's about making sure that your response makes logical sense. This is what we're doing here.
There's a document that I was checking on. It talked about people who almost started.
Have you filled out questionnaires before during your stay at MUZYAMBA? Have you?
Yes.
Do they not always have, typically, will they not ask you, which age range do you belong to?
Yes, they do.
You know why they do that? You don't know. Because you don't know, you want people to specify. You understand this?
Yes.
These are important questions, and by the way, when people don't understand what you're doing, they will ask these questions that are to do with basic research. And the moment you start waffling around and talking about the wrong things, well, that marks, right? It's not me, the supervisors, the other supervisors are the ones that are going to black marks. The issue of methodological approach is quite important really because you almost always have to specify inclusion and exclusion criteria. I have also sung this song too many times. I've told you, for what you're doing, because of the limited amount of time, try as much as possible to stick to an environment that you have control over. They will tell you that what they're doing is, they will be interacting, if they're looking at experts, it's law students. You will have trouble eliciting responses from people outside of whom they don't have control over. What are you going to do? When you think some random person is going to dedicate 15 minutes of their time to fill out your questionnaire because it's the most important thing in the world. No. Right? If you leave it open-ended, you can distribute your questionnaire to whom and you don't really care whether the person who's going to respond is a student who's 60 years old or 5 years old or something, although you don't expect to have a 5-year-old who's a student. You have to be very careful. And tied to this, I guess we can ride on this. If you look at your objective, it's an important point here. When you're saying to determine how gamification can be used as a tool to motivate and increase Wikipedia. What are we doing here exactly? Why are we targeting people that are 15 to 65? I mean, we can understand why I guess, in fact, there's a pause here, right? Well, let's start with here. I took a note of this. When we were quantifying content, I thought we had a conversation about this. Why are you targeting 15 to 16 if you are looking at just quantifying content creation in Wikipedia? Or more importantly, what exactly are we doing? And I know maybe Mr. Mbeo is probably going to ask this question. He may ask this question. Assuming he asks this question, how exactly are you going to quantify Wikipedia content creation about Zambia by Zambians?
So we're going to check the Wikipedia page history to see a number of Zambians that contribute and create content.
Fair enough,
yeah.
Makes perfect sense. So if you're going to do that, yes, there's an additional question?
Okay, you can ask, because I almost answered the question you're about to ask, but...
Yeah. The question I'm going to ask is, if you're going to go to Wikipedia and look at the history, why is your target population 15 to 65? What's the point? You see, the point of a target population is they're saying there are participants that you're going to interact with. If what you're doing is content analysis, why are you saying that your target population are people within the range 15 to 65?
So I think there was a mix-up concerning this part, because this part we already have information that's existing, we just check. So we don't really need to target the population. So I think we mixed up. We don't really need to put any target population here and 16 and what. It's direct. You just go to the history and check. So we'll edit that part. Then maybe while the 15 to 65 comes in is why we're going to use the questionnaires. Maybe there.
What are the questionnaires being used?
To determine awareness and willingness.
Okay, that's fair enough. Well, the last part, is this a mix-up as well? Because if you're going to analyze, but they will ask, right? Because Wikipedia content on Wikipedia on and about Zambia, there's a lot, right? There's a Zambia Wikipedia page, there's an UNZA Wikipedia page. There's probably a Wikipedia page about Bemba people or something. The question that people would want to ask is, I don't know if are you going to analyze all of the content on and about Zambia? You have a lot of time in this world. You're going to do that? Are you going to do that when you're quantifying?
No.
Okay, so if no, the question is, how are you going to narrow down on the content that you're going to be analyzing? So for instance, the Zambia Wikipedia page is probably one of those pages you're going to analyze. Right? How many such pages are you going to analyze? Because each page has a series of history, is it? The thing is, we're talking about how you're going to sample those pages you're going to analyze. The selection criteria, this is where you should be talking about, you're going to look at the most active pages or something, like pages that most people contribute content to. I'm not saying it's what you're going to do, but these are things you're thinking about. I don't know if they're in your proposal document, you're probably not here. But that's one of the things. The key thing here is you state, how are you going to sample these pages, right? Because you have an inclusion and exclusion criteria, but how are you going to narrow down on which pages you're going to analyze? And how many pages, right? Is it 2 Wikipedia pages? Is it 3? Is it 5? Is it 10? Is it 100? If it's 100, why 100? Because the key is, if you remember 2034, and I know you don't remember, you'll probably forget about this when you leave right now, all of you. If you remember what Professor Kandra told you, he told you that numbers are important. You want to be able to generalize your findings. So if you say you're going to narrow down on 10 pages, the conclusions you're going to draw on those 10 pages, you'll be signaling to people, so you can generalize these findings to include all the potential pages on and about Zambia. But the only way you can do that is if you sample the appropriate number of pages in this case. I don't know what you're going to say. Do you have an how many pages?
We're going to look into it, so we didn't.
They'll ask you, I'm sure. I don't know what you're going to say. That's fine. That's fine. It's always nice when you talk about procedures and methods, straight for a questionnaire, you state how you're going to, is this going to be offline, online, or something, I don't know, all those things. Yeah, I don't know about this here. Was this another mistake? How to determine gamification? Why do you need 15? Why are the target population 65? What are we doing here by determining how gamification can be used as to motivate? One would argue that this is the same thing as this, right? Because what you're saying here is that for you to determine how gamification can be used, you're implementing a piece of software. You understand this? So if I were you, I would maybe I would in fact, this is the same system to design and implement. Yeah. So cut off one of them, or cut off this if I were you.
Just as a repetition.
Yeah. Because this is where most of the work is going to go towards, right? What agile methodology are you going to use? I said years ago, you should have asked this. Sorry? What agile methodology are you using? When you're saying additional agile methodology is being used, it's weird actually. You're not using this thing here. I think there's a component of grammar as well. You saw that 5 marks. It's true. You lose marks for grammar. It's quite sad, really. Some of you are losing marks because I have to grade. To be impartial, I have to grade all the proposals to look at formatting. I have to grade all the proposals to look at project management. Your supervisors are going to look at just the content. And it's quite sad. They are told the page limit is 10. You're doing the wrong thing. You read through what you're writing. The grammar is a problem. I don't know if it was rushed way. I don't know if there's a bit of a problem with grammar here. You know, they're told to use this template. They're using something that is completely different. Why? Why? But what agile methodology are you going to use? Like the rest. Now when I ask you this, right? Mr. Mark, what agile methodology are we using?
So I've not answered that one for now. I'm looking to it.
Yeah, the number of methodologies. We were talking about sprints here, right? It sounds to us like they're referring to Scrum or something. You want to read up, you see, they'll ask trick questions sometimes to gauge your understanding, to see if you truly know what they're talking about, or you're just using flowery words to appear as though you know what you're doing when you don't, right? I made a comment to say, but I have no page numbers. I made a comment here to say, this, what you're talking about here, Joe, when you're discussing this should be part of the proposed solution, this context diagram. And so you're talking about it as part of your procedure and methods, but it should be, if I were you, not if I were you, what you should do is you should include it here. This is our proposed solution, and the way this is going to work is ABC. You know? How are we going to know if what we've done actually is good or bad? This Wiki Motivate, how do we know if Wiki Motivate is the way to go? So we can't hear you.
Sorry, maybe rephrase the question. Question you need to frame.
Which question?
The question you're asking.
I was saying, how will you know that Wiki Motivate is a good thing? Or how will you know?
I'm going to test it.
Is that before or after implementation?
Well, we can't know whether Wiki Motivate is a good thing until you do it. Right?
Yes.
To determine how, if it's okay, I think we'll check, we'll have to see how are people now contributing content after saying that there's a bit.
So then why don't you have an explanation for this? It's a crucial part of evaluation. You're not talking about how you're going to evaluate your solution. Or buy a sewing machine and they'll say, I make clothes here. How do I know I'm doing the correct thing, right? I have to check. If people buy my clothes or something, my design. This is the thing here. So instead of what you should be thinking about here is quantifying.
Evaluation should be a theme? Like
it should be like probably an objective here. I don't know. But so it's interesting here because you want to look at your specific objectives, what you're doing, right? To design and implement that will increase content creation. If you want, you can have a separate question here because you are going to exclude the number 3 here. Right? So you could say the other one is to I don't know what you're going to evaluate here because you don't mention this in your proposal. So you have to figure out exactly how you're going to evaluate it if users will be able to contribute more content by looking at that. It's like in a real world setting, this would have to be a longitudinal study, right? You have people use Wiki Motivate and then after a long period of time, maybe 3 months or 6 months, you see if that thing has an effect, but you don't have time. So it will have to be a controlled study or something. It's a controlled study. The question is, what are you going to be measuring? How do we, when we're using Wiki Motivate, how can we evaluate Wiki Motivate to see if people will be motivated to add content to the video? This is where you talk about things like, oh, we are going to recruit X number of people, or maybe it could be 20 people. 10 of them will tell them to, within a limited amount of time, we'll tell them, contribute content without using Wiki Motivate. The other ones will be using Wiki Motivate. Then we'll try and ask them subjective questions, maybe to say, according to you, do you think that Wiki Motivate would encourage you to do this or something? Right?
So can we also put it like, instead of adding the specific objectives, like we just have a part where we write evaluation and then we explain about...
There's a part of 4 if you want, because it's already there, right? There's a part at the end here where it's saying, and increase content in leaderboard to motivate and increase. So what you're saying is your piece of software is aimed at encouraging or motivating people to add content and increase the number of people that are adding content. So you'd have to figure out a way of measuring that. So you could maybe write it up somewhere in the methodology, say, for us to figure out whether a piece of software is going to motivate these users. This is what we're going to do. Right? I don't know here. Miss Wembo here was talking about, where is this 10 coming from? Which period is this? Last month, it says.
So we were.
You should specify to say as of, so that people know.
Okay.
Because if you remember our discussions, the number that came up often was 20.
It was 28.
So what you want to do is, it says last month here, when you put the screenshot.
The thing is, we were trying to, since we remember that it was actually 20 when we were doing the discussions, but we're trying to actually locate the information, like where exactly that 20 came from.
Yeah.
And we kept just finding the
10. So even when you checked the other months, you see what it says last month.
We found it still 10. Yes.
I remember when we checked there was a 20.
But it's fine. So it says last month here, meaning I don't know when you
just for the
this.
month.
It means like April or something, 2023. So what you should say is, just don't say only 10 people in Zambia. You say, for instance, in the month of April 2023, it's only 10 Zambians contributed content to Wikipedia, right? Which is quite sad. I don't know what this is all about here, but I guess people are worried about minimum prices instead of the contribution to Wikipedia here. I don't know about the questions here, right? It's very important here. You've forgotten what Mr. Kandra said. If you look at your question, if you read through, how can we quantify Wikipedia content creation and contribution about Zambia? The way you're phrasing this is, the way you answer that is, well, we'll quantify this by looking at statistics. The phrasing is important. The phrasing dictates what you're going to do. Instead of how is what is the rated quantity of Wikipedia content, right, or whatever. So the phrasing is important here. The how is like you're going to answer this question by determining what you're going to do. But you already know what you're going to do. So we're done with the research now because you know what you're going to do. You understand this? It sounds trivial here, but the phrasing of research questions is important here, right? Anyways, page numbers are missing here. Please include the supervisor details. What is there or something? Oh, but why is this supervisor? Why can't you put me here? Oh, that's fine. Yeah, I don't know about this here. I don't know what you are talking. When Joe was giving a talk about the qualitative approach, you were talking about user experiences. A second, I'm thinking, what experiences are you going to be looking at? By the way, also the solution, right? You seem to be suggesting that you're going to implement this ranking algorithm or something. Be very, very careful here, right? This is one of the easiest exams where you choose what question you're going to answer in the exam. Some of your colleagues are choosing very hard questions on their own, right? Things that, I don't know here, things that we know they're going to have difficulties doing. They're there, we've read through the proposals, right? We're going to do this. Really? Right? What are going to, because the thing, right, in the final report, people refer to the proposal, say you're going to do this, right? Where is it? You understand this? I'm going to implement a very complex algorithm that is going to determine the rankings based on these various factors like quantity, longevity, involvement, and community recognition. I don't know. I mean, you have to be very careful here, right? You have to be very, very careful here. It's quite strange here. Some of these things as well is a very funny story about being very careful. There's a group that's proposing something where they are saying they're going to use an API. But that API is not freely available. You need to pay money. Where are you going to get the money to do what you're proposing to do? All right, that's fine. I was talking about experiences here, or when you are talking about mixed messaging here. What is this about here? Qualitative methods will be used to gain an in-depth understanding of topics and experiences of individuals. At what point, which of those objectives is going to enable you to do these things, to gain deeper understanding of the experiences of individuals? Something to think about here. Right? It is there, it is not. Yeah? You want to be very careful about some of these things here. So when you're saying you're going to use pre-existing software somewhere here, by the way, what software are you going to use here? The integration and configuration. What software are you using? What is this really about? That's a question though.
I think the best way to answer this is something to do with API.
API, yes, web services, thank you. All right, I think other than that, I thought just a comment on when it was Christopher or something, when you were doing your presentation. I don't know about how you feel about what you're talking about, right? So if you're telling people, you're giving a lecture about voluntary participation, you should talk about what it is you are going to do insofar as voluntary participation is concerned, right? Not explaining what this is about, you understand? So talk about, when you distribute questionnaires, right? Blah, 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 is what we're going to do or something. And then what you want to do here is, instead of this, rather have visual representations. Instead of just saying project manager, you understand that? Yes. Similar to the other group, it would be nice if you had like some sort of screenshot showcasing content contribution, maybe on the Zambia page or something. And I say, this is what we're working towards, so that people know what you're working towards. Other than that, you spoke for 14 minutes, 32 seconds, and 5 minutes. If you want to work on your time, you will be stopped if you go beyond 10. So do a bit of rehearsal, you still have a bit of time before Monday. All right, unless there's any questions, we can leave it at that. Hopefully this was useful. Yes. Oh, sorry.
I wonder sometimes which is implicated in this.
Yes.
The project websites, why are we deploying the website?
They're already there, you are given details, right? They've already been deployed. The project websites were already deployed, you are all added to, you received emails a very long time ago. If just maybe you were not paying attention, you don't read my emails, which is fine. Not that I want people to read my emails here, but everybody you were added to, you were told that, in fact, in the assignment, you were told that the format of all these sites is the same, is it? So let's see here. The assignment for the project website, you were told that all of these are formatted in a certain way here. I'm just going to application settings here. So it's this. The culture of reading is slowly dying in this country of ours. I don't know, there was even a request, we would like to request a briefing so that we ask questions about the website. Really? Okay, fine, we have a briefing tomorrow. I don't understand this, right? You were told that for each group, the way I don't know if this is a question, you were given each group number has been, there's a corresponding Google site that has been created for you. All you do is you go to there, what's your number again? 8. So you go to 8, you see what I'm going to do here, I will replace 1 with 8. So you go here, you say, instead of 1, you say 8, you copy. Now I'm being thing here, I'm trying to be funny here. But you go here, right? And then you will have access to this. You will notice that you've all been added, all your UNZA assigned email addresses have been added here. And in fact, some groups have already made some significant progress, I think. Which group is that? I think Mumbi's group has they're almost there, I guess. I don't know. It should be Mumbi. I don't know. I've forgotten here. But it should be Philip Mumbi or something. So let me just showcase this here. I'm just going to open this. Did you attempt to look into this?
Yes, we tried, but the thing is, we don't know where we're editing, whether the CSS or the HTTP for editing parts to research.
Oh no, so the way this works is it's what you see is what you get, edit or something. So you don't have to. I think I should be aware of editing the actual HTML code. So if you go.
In your statement, you explained that it should be static, only use HTTP.
Oh no, so the reason we say it's static is because, okay, that statement is there because at some point we are toyed around with having you create these things, not using Google Sites, but actually like hard coding them or something, so that you could utilize your 3010 skills or something. And also, I don't know if it's possible in Google Sites where you can make this dynamic. We're trying to avoid you making it dynamic. So we're saying no backend code, nothing like, oh, we're linking this to a database or something. This is what we mean by it being static. Usually when there's a failure with a database connection, then boom, right? Site is dead and you've left. We're trying to avoid those things. Long-term preservation is the end game here. So that's if that was the question, that's what we are referring to. Oh, this is it. It looks like Philip's group is the only one making changes. Why is that? Oh, there's also, yeah, I don't know. Oh, there's also Joseph's group as well, Miss Mtonga's group as well. But so everybody has been given, you notice here, every group has been, unless if we think here, but you notice here, you are all editors, right? Right? All editors here. No. So, by the way, I'm not answering your question. If you come here, right? This is all you do here, making changes. You're creating new pages and all those things. Yeah, just this. But also, I'm not sure if there should be a way of changing the view. Who's done this? How do you change the view for this? How do you change the page view or something so that you view this? There should be a way of changing the view, is it? I think there should be a way of changing the view here. I don't know. So that if you want to edit the raw code here, you can do that. I don't know. You'll have to look into this or something. But this is it. So you can choose to make changes to the header. But inspiration can be gotten from. This is the thing again. Because you people never listen. But I was surprised. People never listen. Still wanting to do timetables here. I don't know where this timetable is coming from. Why? Yeah, we are going to create a timetable application. But for inspiration, I do encourage you to look at what the others from last year have done. And you have access last year and before last year. So that you derive inspiration from what they did. Right? What do they have? What pages do they have? Oh, they have pages for documentation, members, links, about, and all those things. Oh, this is what they did. I don't know what that is here, but you understand this? And just find time and look at, I know you don't want to read, that's fine, but just find time and look at what these people did from last year. Right? Different ways of presenting results. The key here is content, presentation of the things associated with the project is what we are focused on. But because these things are publicly accessible, you don't want people to dig up your history and find some shoddy work, right? Somewhere down the line, like 10 years from now, this is our boss. I'm proud of what I did here. I should probably upload my 4th year project as well. Thank you very much. And unless if any thoughts or questions about this, good luck on Monday. What I'm going to do is, because this is last week we are meeting, we can still meet the respective groups. We can maybe come up with a plan on what you're going to be doing after the exam if you've been in Lusaka. If I were you, I would plan to make maximum use of the 2-week break. Not that you should be working every day, but you continue doing work so that you finish as soon as possible. But you never listen. You don't know what you're going to do here, but that's fine. Thank you. Goodbye. See you. Yeah, I will share this. I was recording this. I will share this. There's not a problem. Thanks a lot, the participants. We thought you had left us, Ernest and Miss Mlenga. Thank you so much. All right. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks. Bye. Yes, Miss Madam.
Wanted to find out if it's like it's okay to make additions on the presentation document. That we know our proposal is already.
Yeah, but you're also going to be required to make changes to your proposal actually once it's graded, because Yeah, because there's a milestone where you're supposed to come up with a revised proposal. You're going to do that. These presentations are due when? On Friday. So between now and Friday, the reason we're doing this is so that between now and Friday, you incorporate the changes so that you get the maximum possible marks. This is why we're doing this.
But we uploaded on MONDE.
It's fine, you can, the deadline is Friday. When is the deadline? Not the proposal, for the presentation.
He's talking about the presentation.
Yeah. For the proposal, there'll be another assignment for the revised proposals.
Oh, okay.
But you only get to revise the proposals once you get the feedback, right?
Okay.
So then the grades will be changed after we revise the proposal document?
No, the revised proposal is just for you. Nobody's going to regrade them. The grading is going to be based on what you submitted, where you use the wrong format for the authors, right? It has nothing to do with the template. And I wanted to mention you because it's your group. You listed the authors. I don't know what you were thinking. Do you drink? Were you drinking that day or something? You changed the authors and their own some single thing here. Why? That's what? Is that what the template says?
Your comment, you are like, you have to like
and
to center the authors.
What?
Your comment.
No, I said you center them. One author or somewhere to the right. That's what I meant.
You found it, so I had to put it to the side and to the side.
Should be. Do you discuss these things with the other colleagues?
Yes.
You're allowed to. You ask. Yes, you ask. Can we see what you've done? Because you're doing the different things, right? There's nothing like. Sorry.
They think we're doing the same project, but it's different. We just want it, but they don't understand. So.
No, but I'm sure there's other people you can talk to.
Other people do help, but then we wanted like maybe at least a group that you are supervising because in case we didn't hear something properly, they can. But anyway.
Yeah, we'll send an email to encourage you to. You should be. You see, the reason why we're bringing you together is you're learning from their mistakes. They're learning from your mistakes, right? Eventually, we're all going to do the right things. We're trying to save ourselves a lot of embarrassment here and all that. Is that fine? Please work on the presentation, right? You have a bit of time here. Yeah? All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
If you don't want to meet, then let me know, because it would be nice if you could talk about the plans you have, just briefly. Yes, more is going. Thank you.